I want to ask you though, as we wind down, that whether at all investors and those watching from outside are just only looking at India in terms of the investment opportunities and whether barriers have been lowered or made easier, but are they also looking at what is happening to India as a democracy and the trends that we've seen of late, several of which are concerning? Is that something which they are also looking at? Is that at all a factor when it comes to selecting India as an investment destination, or that doesn't apply when it comes to purely the world of making business decisions?
I think in the world of business and in the world of governments, they're willing to look through some of this in the hope that it doesn't touch their activity. Yes, there are some ethical, governance-oriented businesses that will say, we don't think it's appropriate given this to touch a particular country, but those are few and far between. Many of them don't really care what's happening so long as it doesn't affect them. However, and that is true of governments also. You will find that governments are willing to look through it so long as you cooperate with them in their fight against some bigger enemy. The broader problem is both internal as well as longer term, right? Internal is obviously these kinds of political changes, political moves, these kinds of divisiveness that we see emerging at the national level are problematic for the country itself, and we need to change. It's also creating a more harsher business environment in the longer run, which becomes problematic. The other thing that businesses rarely recognize until too late is when the government operates without checks and balances. That affects them eventually. That the lack of checks and balances implies that arbitrary decisions can be taken with respect to them, and they have very limited recourse because all the tools that would ordinarily check the government are within the grasp of the government. A free press, a uncommitted judiciary, an independent judiciary, all these are in the interest of business. So I think these things play out in the longer run. In the short run, I think business tends to look to its own interest and not recognize the longer term damage that is done.
Right.